Today, we're looking at a strange flaw in fines. A fine is meant to make you stop. But when a company is rich enough, even a massive fine can become affordable. Pay it, absorb it, keep going. So when does punishment stop being punishment and become business math? Let's get into it. Imagine you walk out to your car and see a parking ticket sitting under your windshield wiper. For you, that fine is not just a piece of paper. It is a punishment. It takes money from you. It annoys you. It makes you remember not to do the same thing again. That is what a fine is supposed to do. It is supposed to hurt enough to change your behavior. But now imagine the same idea applied to a giant company. The company breaks a rule, gets investigated, and eventually gets fined. The headline says the fine was massive. But inside the company, the question may not be, was this wrong? The question may be, can we afford this? And keep going. This is where fines become strange. A normal person experiences a fine as pressure, but a large company can experience the same thing as a cost. And businesses are built to manage costs. They budget for them. They calculate them. They spread them across time. They explain them to investors. They move them through the spreadsheet. So even if the fine sounds huge to the public, the company compares it to something else. How much money did we make? How much did this rule breaking benefit us? How likely are we to get caught? And if the fine is smaller than the reward, the punishment does not really stop the behavior. It just reduces the profit. Think about it this way. If someone could make $100 by breaking a rule, but only had to pay $10 if they got caught, that would not feel like a real punishment. That would feel like a price. They still walk away with $90. And that is the problem with fines that are too affordable. The system says, you did something wrong. But the business may hear, this is what it costs. That is why people get angry when big companies get fined again and again. Because the public is told accountability happened. But then the same type of behavior comes back later. Maybe with a different fee, a different policy, or a different wording. But the incentive is still alive. The real issue is not just that a company paid a fine. The real issue is whether the fine changed anything. Did the company stop the behavior? Did customers get refunded? Did the company lose more than it gained? Did the system that caused the problem actually change? Because if the answer is no, the fine may not be real accountability. It may just be the cost of getting caught. And this is where the fine system can feel unfair. For normal people, a fine can be painful. For a small business, it can be dangerous. But for a giant company, the same idea can be survivable. Sometimes it is not even close. They pay, apologize, and continue. That is why real punishment has to be bigger than the reward, not bigger than what sounds impressive in a headline, bigger than what the company gained by breaking the rule. Because if a company makes $50 million from bad behavior, pays a $10 million fine, and keeps the rest, the system has not fully punished them. It has charged them a fee. A fine says you did something wrong, but real accountability says you cannot keep benefiting from it. So the next time you see a headline about a giant company paying a massive fine, do not only ask how big the fine was, ask whether it actually hurt. Because if they can afford to pay it and continue anyway, the fine is not a wall, it is a price tag.